right, All right, so it's Travel Talk Tuesday at 2. This is Kathy Kennedy. I got my wonderful guest host here is going to be Mechelle Letto, which is from Royal Caribbean. And we are just having a heck of a laugh. So we're kind of in a little bit of a pre-time here. So let you guys hopefully snag this while you're cruising through Facebook. And if you do snag it, hang in there. We're going to get started at 2 o'clock. We got a lot of great stuff to go through with you. Put your name over. If you've got a little comment section in the bottom, say, hi, I'm here. And we can see who you are. And we can welcome you to the Travel Talk Tuesday at 2. But we're just having some great little laughs here. I'll tell you what, it's so nice to laugh and have all this craziness going on around us, but we can find humor in it. And I was going to say, I do everything you tell me to do.
That's so funny.
That's an inside joke. Hey, Miss Vicky Short, how are you? Piggly Wiggly is there too, right? Hey, Michelle, you know who Piggly Wiggly is, right? Yeah, because you're over in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, but I lived in Charleston for a long time, where of course they started them. Yeah.
Yeah, and Piggly Wiggly was down in South Carolina. So Vicky is with a friend of hers when we were in Margaritaville. Which, by the way, Vicky, I tried to get Michelle to come with me. And so he's walking around Cancun, Mexico in this Piggly Wiggly shirt. Yeah. So he got named. He got nicknamed Piggly Wiggly. Hey, Miss Sarah Housewright. Sarah Housewright is in the house. Miss Louise is there. Says hi to Michelle.
Hi, guys. You know that the original owner of Piggly Wiggly has a house in downtown Charleston right there on the harbor. And as you pass his house, there's two big pigs statues in the front, so you know exactly which is his house. So it's right there off the harbor, down by Battery Park.
All right, Vicki, write that down. I want you to take Jerry down there and take a picture. We'll get a picture of that. That'll be too fun. All right, Miss Louise is ready to go to Alaska and is going to be on the Serenade of the Seas.
Thankfully, we're having an Alaska season.
Ooh, well, I'll tell you what, that lift and shift almost lifted me out of here.
Lifted and shifted
Those
you.
poor guys will know the HELL I went through, but it's good, it's done. And Louise, you guys, we got to tell everybody we got all the vacations by rail packages is in. I'm assuming we'll get closer. The Serenade, we'll get protocol on that, so we'll get that. Mr. Gary Johnson, he was down in Cancun there with us. And the only reason I got him in Cancun, unfortunately, Royal Caribbean canceled. He had his 50th wedding anniversary, by the way.
Oh, happy belated anniversary.
There. So Vicky's going to post that Piggly Wiggly picture and give it back to us. Miss Weiniger is there. Miss Weiniger and I are headed to Alaska Rail and also on the Odyssey. Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Odyssey came in. I saw the Odyssey's picture coming into Port Canaveral. And the crew, they were coming in for, I think, some last-minute crew vaccinations and some provisions into Port Canaveral. And now she's headed down to Fort Lottie-Dottie. And hopefully we'll be down there, I think, today or tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So very exciting times. The
Amigos just got on. Amigos is up in Big Stone Gap, and he's going to be on the Odyssey. So headed that way. So I'm hearing you're going to be getting on her before us. When are you going?
Yeah, I'm leaving Sunday, and I board the ship on Monday. It's a shakedown. Shakedown cruises are more like dress rehearsals before the ship goes into service. So it's just employees. I'm not sure how many are there. And we're going to board on Monday, just a 2-night. We're going to go check out Perfect Day at Coco Cay, go see my friend Santiago over there, and then head back. So pretty excited to see the Odyssey. I've seen so many great pictures. The Odyssey looks out of this world. The shows, I am so excited about that 270 show. Nick is
that's my favorite. A 270 is my most favorite venue of any ship I've ever sailed.
I believe it. I love it.
I got set sail passes like that. So I cannot wait to get on her. I cannot wait.
I'm excited.
All right, so we're at 2:01. So I am, hey, thank you guys. Boom, boom, boom for getting on here. This is Travel Talk Tuesday at 2. Kathy Kennedy. I've got Mechelle Letto. You go by Connor Letto or just Letto now?
You can just go by Mechelle.
Mechelle. Mechelle is on from Royal Caribbean. And we've got we're going to catch you up on, there's been a lot of really travel news coming out. And as a fact, for those of you guys, if you're on, what I was going to tell you is down below, just type hi there, woohoo, whatever. We can see who you are, welcome you to the call. If you've got questions or comments, just put them in that little box. If it's off to the side or down here, depending on the device you're on, then we can go back through and we can put all of that. We can answer all your questions. And if you don't mind, I need you to like this and share it to the world, because we got to keep the number of views up so we can keep doing this. Once we drop below 100, we're gonna stop. But we haven't, so we'll just keep going. Miss Barbara Tunnel down in is it warm down in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, Barbara? Barbara, you are the one that needs to be, you and your brand new husband needs to be getting on the Odyssey. Okay, we're going to be talking about, she's down in Florida. So she's a quick hop over and we're going to be getting on her in September. So you're going to pay attention as we go forward. So I don't know, where were we? Oh, we were talking about the Odyssey, and that you're going to be getting on. Now this, for those of you who do not know what the Odyssey is, it is the newest baby of Royal Caribbean. And, oh, that's what I was going to say. And I'll never forget that day. I had you on the television, down at the television studio, and I said, Mechelle has a new baby.
My mother-in-law loved that. I was like, no, mommy.
And I meant the ship. You know, your new ship was your new baby. But Lord, everybody took it the other way. So she was telling her something she didn't know. Oh, but it's a brand new ship. It is the Odyssey, and she is a quantum class. For those of ones that it has the North Star arm that goes up that you can view. It has iFly, which I've now done the iFly 2 or 3 times, and it's like all of the fat. Yeah, that's what happens. And well, you're going to tell us a few of the other but it sounds like it took a few of the Oasis class bells and whistles and kind of smorphed them in there, right? Yeah, so I'm curious. All right, so I'm going to skip over. I'm going to try and do a share here on a quick PowerPoint, because I want to get through some of the news that's going on in travel before we can get to the fun stuff about the Odyssey. So hang on. You know how good I am not at this. Ta-da! I think I'm going to be able to do this from slideshow from the beginning. Ha! It worked. Yay. So here we are. We're going to be talking about the Odyssey arriving finally. She has, I have to say, Mechelle, I think this ship is done more hippity hop than anything. She was originally to be in Rome, which we were going to do the transatlantic 2021. Right. And then she hippity hopped over to Israel, right? Yep. And that didn't work. So, hey, the third time's a charm. We always knew we wanted her home. So now you just said she just got back into Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the funny thing that you say that it's hippity hopped. I received a note that the ship was in Port Canaveral, Florida. They were like, it's here. It's finally here in Florida. Because all we had said as a company is that it was coming to Florida. So she thought it was going to be sailing from Port Canaveral. And I said, yeah, it's just there for provisions and get the crew vaccinated and this, that, and the other. But then it arrived in Fort Lauderdale, so it's really got around.
Yeah, she definitely is a hippity hoppy. You know what? She's just going to keep us guessing. But the thing is when she kept doing this, I'm more determined to follow her. I'm going to catch her. So that's kind of how I feel. All right, guys, let's walk through some of the travel news out there. First off, I don't know if you guys seen this. This is fraud alert. And what this is saying is that we're telling people to watch out for those post-pandemic travel scams. Now, what that means, I don't know which camera I'm supposed to be looking at here so you guys can see me better. But what that means is, and it's just like after any time of crisis, people try to make money off of other people. And so they're putting these fake storefronts up to make the deal sound better than it is. And if you know if the deal's better than it sounds, then guess what? It's usually a scam. So you guys take note of this as well. It's a first time WJHL, which is it's not just daytime, but it's WJHL News. I actually came out here to the office today and did a film. So you guys they said supposedly I'm going to be on the 5 o'clock news. And this is one of the things I just slightly mentioned. I don't know if it'll get cut out or not, because I don't know if you know, whenever they do those interviews on the news, they tape all this stuff and then, you walk away with this much stuff. But this is where you need to tell people or your friends that are thinking about booking to call me, which, by the way, we've just added I don't think you even know this, Mechelle. We have a brand new associate. Here in the Tri-Cities. I'm going to go over, get her trained. She just got through everything. So we're growing as an agency. And as a matter of fact, we have one more coming on. So we are going to have a huge team of travel experts who, in some cases, like Ellen, is going to be focused in on Disney. She's going to be focused in on some weddings and honeymoons and things like that. So we're actually building a team that's going to get more focused and better service to everybody. But just guys on this, just warn your friends, call me. And if I'm not available or we're full, I got a whole team that we're going to go to.
It's such a shame that you got to worry about stuff like that. But you're right. It's so important just to be with somebody that you are familiar with, that you can shake their hand, give you that personal service, get stuff somewhere. You know that they're going to get you home, and you and your team are really, really good at that. They're the best.
All right. So what do you think about this one, Mechelle? Don't you love Canada coming out now?
I'm beside myself. I got no words. I have no words. I am just grateful by the grace of God that the House and the Senate came together to make Alaska happen. I'll be glad when politics are away from cruising and we can get back to normal, but I'm just so glad. I feel so blessed and so grateful because, you have to remember the Canadians, the Alaska cruising, the Alaskan people are people of the USA. These are our people that we need to take care of. I can't imagine these tiny little, towns not having tourism for a second year in a row. So I was just so grateful that all came together. Now that it's reopening in June, but it is what it is. We had to do what we had to do. We made it happen for these people, and
in my mind, it really made U.S. strong. It's kind of like, okay, Canada said, for those of you who don't know, Canada had closed their borders through March of 2022, I think, or February.
February.
Yeah, that far out, way back whenever. And granted, and I've kept them in my prayers, but granted, they've had more issues with getting the vaccine out, because I know Roy Cowell, he's a client of mine. He's got relatives up there. He's talking to them all. So I know the challenges that they've had with it. And it was probably a good one. But to take it all the way out to March, which did force U.S. to go strong, to go around the policy so that we are given, like you said, Alaska people, there is nothing like the Alaskans. They are true people. And, they still, live off the grid up there. And they live on the land that God gave us. So it's just, it is very nice now that we have this other option. But I wanted your comments on that. So fortunately, it sounds like Canada's vaccines are getting back in place. Also, U.S. UK is working on resuming transatlantic travel. This is almost consistently in our news. I am starting to book more Scotland and Ireland and London and Europe, and as those borders are starting to open up. And for many of you out there that are on the Great Park, am I getting an echo? Did anybody hear an echo? No. On the America's Great Parks or on the trains, they are requiring vaccination. And Curacao is now opened up. And the reason why I was excited about this one, and I put Curacao up there, was that is where we are going in September on the Odyssey. So while we're on this one, Mechelle, can you kind of tell us when these ships are now going into the different islands, are you pretty sure this is kind of going to stabilize now so that when you book a ship, the itinerary is not consistently changing?
So, like anybody else, this whole pandemic has been, there's been so much change. We've all got to stay so flexible like Gumby. From one minute to the next, the protocols are changing in the different ports of call, depending on their numbers going up or on what they're seeing coming into their island. I think that as of right now, this is terrific because, it's one more island that we can choose from. As long as, I guess it just depends on what ship it is because there's so many different protocols. We're hopefully going down a path that will have a 2-path journey where they'll be vaccinated and unvaccinated on the ships leaving out of the U.S., however, not from Alaska and not from, I believe, Galveston. Mm-hmm. But so there's just, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say, Kathy, because it's changing so quickly. I know that I think it was 2 or 3 times last week we got news and updates on the Bahama cruises. Yes. And so if anything that I've learned anything is that anything could change at a moment's notice. And we've just got to be kind of like Gumby with this travel. And we're hoping that at least 30 days out, 2 weeks to 30 days out from each of the sailings, that we'll know what those protocols are, that we'll be able to expedite that information to both you and your clients to get, what they need in order to get there. But right now, we just got to stay flexible, be grateful that, cruising is beginning again and do it safely and healthy for everyone.
Again, I'm going to reference to, for those guys who know, Jason is he's an associate of mine who is currently on the Adventure of the Seas. He's currently sailing that ship, and he's got about 20 on there with him. And as I think some protocol or some stuff changed right before, about a day or two before they were get on, he was blasting it out to everybody and contacting. So again, I just, I don't know how anybody could book travel right now and not have a travel advisor, especially we're free, we're not charging fees. So if you've got a travel advisor that's charging you something, don't call them, call me. But that's what we do is we understand the policy. Now this one, this one is Royal Caribbean's president clarifies the cruise line's vaccine policy. You just stated, and I did send this off on the Alaska group, which I've met with some ones that are going to do the serenade, and then I'm going to meet with the rest of them. You do need a vaccine. Everybody needs to be vaccinated in Seattle and in Nassau, right?
Or the Alaska cruise.
You won't get on board without it. Right.
And there are going to be some other places that's going to happen. We're trying very hard to take a look at the ships leaving out of Florida and to see if we can do a 2-pathway where there are some vaccinated and some unvaccinated. But it's really a work in motion, and it's changing all the time. But we realize that, Royal Caribbean, quite honestly, is a family brand, and we have a lot of families that travel with us. And these children, I have grandchildren that are 4 and 5 years old, and they love to cruise. But right now is not the time for them, to get that vaccine. So we know that there's going to have to probably be some give and take here, and that we're going to have to work it out. And that's what they're working out all right now. But you will know ahead of time. And to your point about using you guys, Kathy, you and your staff are so professional and so on top of things. You really need a travel agent like that because things have changed just from in a 24-hour period. And there's no way you could do this on your own and stay sane and not get gray hairs. I think that because you guys are so professional and you're so on top of it, you and your entire team, you're really in good hands to know that they'll know those policies, they'll walk you through them, and it's not going to be as difficult as it would on your own or through an agent that really is just an 800 number that you don't have that you don't have a personal relationship with. So kudos to you guys for staying on top of it, because right now your job is one of the hardest in the industry. I think you are our superheroes. Every industry has them in travel.
Yeah, it's been definitely been a challenge, but I'm very grateful to have a wonderful team to work with. The other thing on Royal Caribbean is just I've had a lot of people come and talk about the vaccine thing, and this all has to be around Florida because the Florida governor is basically saying he does not want anyone mandating someone having to take a vaccine. So Royal Caribbean, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Mechelle, basically says in Florida they're not going to mandate it. However, if you don't have the vaccine, it's going to be harder. You're going to have to prove more and maybe additional expenses.
So we have again two pathways: vaccinated and unvaccinated. And what Governor DeSantis, I believe, has said is that no company is allowed to ask for that vaccination card. It's against our rights, HIPAA laws, whatever they want to call it. But so for us to have two pathways, and that if you don't have the vaccination, then you will have other protocols to go through. You'll have to be tested on board. Now, granted, none of this has been firmed up. We don't know anything for positive, but this is what it looks like, is that, there could be additional incremental charges on another COVID test for you, and you may have to wear, the masks while you're on board the ship and in the different areas. And there may be, just different protocols that you'll have to follow in general versus the vaccinated people. So, like I said, we're still kind of waiting on a clear definition and a clear pathway, but it will open it up to allow those that can't get the vaccine or those that are too young to get the vaccine to still cruise, but all while keeping in mind that the ships will still cruise at a reduced capacity and with a certain percentage of vaccinations being on the cruise. So, it may not be 95% vaccinated. Maybe it's only 94 or 93% vaccinated. I don't know. But I will tell you that all of our crew will be vaccinated, and that the polls that we've seen is that the majority of the Royal Caribbean passengers have been vaccinated. And, of course, those will be the first to return to cruise because they're loyal to Royal.
And that's what I'm hearing too. I mean, most of my guys have the vaccine. They want the vaccine. And I think if you're not vaccinated, they should appreciate those extra protocols because all you're trying to do is keep them safe if they're not vaccinated.
Right.
All right. So let's see. Oh, now the CDC, I love these headlines that kind of mislead. CDC amends the face mask requirement for vaccinated travelers on public transportation transit hub. Now, what does that mean? No, you cannot get on a plane without a mask. What if you read the details on this? You can be standing outside the airport without a mask, but you can't go inside without a mask. You got to have a mask. So don't get misled by some of this stuff. You do still do that, but if you're standing outside the airport, you now take your mask off. I don't know why that article even came up. Royal Caribbean makes much anticipated return to the Caribbean seas. So this is the Adventure of the Seas is the first cruise to take off in the Southern Hemisphere, right?
Right. The Adventure, the one that Jason is on, the Adventure sailed last week from Nassau, Bahamas. Our next launch will be the Freedom of the Seas from Miami, doing a 3 or 4 night, I think, to our Perfect Day at Coco Cay, followed by the Odyssey. Okay. And then we've got, I think, 6 more ships between now and August that will slowly begin to launch, not at 100% capacity, but will slowly begin to launch again. All first going through probably a simulated type cruise to make sure that the ship's on ready. And I think that I guess the thing to know is that we've made a lot of changes on board, although the ships have been sitting at sea. We've changed out HVAC systems. We've really prepared these ships. As I had mentioned, the crew members are going to be fully vaccinated as we return, and that's across the fleet. It says much anticipated. I think we were dreaming about this for 15 months, and it's just so nice to get to the end of this tunnel and there not be a great big bus that's going to hit us in the face. We know that we're returning. We know that those protocols are in place and that they're working. More importantly, we're taking on more medical staff. We're taking on larger rooms down by the medical facility in case there is somebody that comes in with a. We know that it's going to happen. We just need to be prepared and ready to handle it. We are. We've got our sister cruise lines that have been sailing for almost a year now.
Yeah. The wonderful thing is Jason took a picture of the pool deck, and he said, well, with 1,000 people on board, you don't have to have any lounge chairs hogging. Now you'll go down early and you see all the towels thrown around all of the chairs because people are trying to. There was none. He took a picture and he's like, there's not a towel out there. There's plenty of room around the pool.
I think you see that on a lot of these cruises, that they'll feel almost like a ghost ship because it's not at full capacity right now. So the service will be second to none for sure.
I go back on, that was a sailing that I went on right after a hurricane, and it was less passengers had showed up due to it. And it's like you felt like you had your own ship. And that's why I think these guys now going up to Alaska, they're on that 726. It's still going to be lower protocol up there as well. I mean, they're not going full ship, right, in Alaska? No. Okay. So they're going to have the same type of feeling. They're just going to have more room to run around and look at the glaciers and all that stuff. So I'm excited for them. Okay, real quick. Now, I've been getting a lot of this. Now, obviously, the celebrity ship, I believe she was in Barbados. No, she was in Barbados, and she was sailing to St. Martin. And so that's kind of was a first sailing out there. And you guys probably read, yes, they had 2 cases of COVID. And I wish I had a nickel for every time somebody just mentioned that to me. So I want to clarify this. And Mechelle, I know that you know the if I'm wrong on this, correct me. But of this this crew or the passengers that were on here, there was 2 people. By the way, everybody that did get on the ship were vaccinated. So these 2 people were vaccinated. They are testing them regularly on your sailing. So again, just as a precaution to make sure, and sure enough, these 2 people came up as a COVID positive. They were asymptomatic, which means they weren't demonstrating any type of symptoms. I love this part. They had done contact tracing, so they knew they had been in contact with and were able to go test those folks, which all came back negative. But the best part was this, is that they then took those 2 people that did, I guess they tested them again, and it was true that they did have it, but yet asymptomatic, put them on a private plane back home. And the news from the ship, and I watched, I don't know, several news stations were covering it straight from the ship, said there's no change. The atmosphere is the same. Everybody's having a great time. Ship hasn't missed a heartbeat. Everything is good. There's no quarantining the whole vessel. God knows you guys remember those horror media pictures. You know, it's just the fact that they had the protocol. It just demonstrates Royal Caribbean Celebrity has a protocol in place. This is what we do. This is how we take care of it, and keeps the whole embodiment of the crew and the sailing safe. Did I quote that right?
I think you're right there on it. You know, and they were minors. The 2 were minors, and they were asymptomatic, and it was on day 6 of their cruise. But you're right. Nobody else tested positive, and they were able to contact trace it. You know, going back to a healthy return to service, that's of extreme importance. Our crew and our passengers' health, and not having there be a pandemic on board, so to speak. So the minute that we find out, we're to isolate it, to put them aside and follow the protocols on getting them off the ship, and to contact trace back to find out if there was anybody else that would then test positive, get them tested, and then again follow those protocols accordingly. And you know, again, I'm just going to say that our sister cruise line, TUI Cruises and Hug and Lloyd, they have already been cruising. The Quantum has already been cruising. The Quantum's been cruising out of Singapore with unvaccinated people for 10 months.
Right.
The other places with vaccinated and some unvaccinated, with very, very little COVID cases. And I guess what it means is that there are protocols in place. They've been put in place for a reason, and they're working. And I think that, Mr. Richard Fain has said that you're probably safer cruising than Main Street America, going into these malls and going into maybe a hotel or even into some of these shoreside amusement areas that you don't know where you got it. You don't know. So I think that, I guess the bottom line is the protocols are working. They've already proven to work, and they've got a process that they're going to work through to make sure that nothing like at the very beginning of the pandemic happens ever again.
Well, it's like, those 15 months, and I applaud Royal Caribbean Company, because those 15 months, they didn't sit back licking their wounds. They created all of the prevention and policies and teams to put together so that when you hit the water, that it's good. So, if you guys envision what happened 15 months ago when the Princess ship got, my baby wants to climb up here, get 15 months ago when that horrible thing, well, we didn't know what that was. I mean, we had no idea. Yeah, no, look at this. All right, Denali wants to say hi, everybody.
He's bigger than you are now.
A kiss. Yeah, he's now bouncing. We finally got him weighed. We can't lift him, but we got him weighed. He's between 85 and 90 pounds is where he fluxes to. So, yeah, he's something else. So it all has turned out good. So now let's get to my ship. Odyssey. Okay, for you guys, we got 10 people already booked on this. It's too close to do a group. So we are just getting on her. I'm booked September the 11th through the 19th. Here's the schedule. It's Fort Lauderdale, as Mechelle said. That's where she's living right now. We're going into Labadee. And I have one person who cannot wait to get back to Labadee. They've been to Perfect Day now twice, and they say, all right, it's Labadee time. Going down to Aruba, that is the home port for Aruba, and then Curacao. Williamstead is Curacao, right? Yes. And then 2 days at sea, and then 2 days on that ship. Beautiful 220, 270, the shows. So tell us, Mechelle, what is different about the Odyssey, and why should they get as excited as we are about her?
Well, first of all, not only is the ship fantastic, but that itinerary, 4 days at sea, I love my days at sea. So I'm already excited about this itinerary. Yes. And then the fact that you're going to have 4 days to really work your way through this fabulous, incredible ship, whether it's by ripcord, by iFly, like you had said, the simulated skydiving experience where you get that facelift for a couple of seconds while you're doing it. So much fun. The sky pad, which is the bungee trampoline, which I know sounds like it's for kids, but it is so much fun for big kids as well. When I went on there, I put the virtual glasses on, and I was a Candy Crusher. So those folks who like those games on their phone, that's a Candy Crusher. Well, it's a virtual game of a Candy Crusher, or I think it's soccer player. And you look totally ridiculous up there bouncing on this thing, crushing the candy with the things up. But it's so much fun. Of course, there's no charge to either the ripcord or the sky pad. We've got the Flow Rider, and I think the Flow Rider is the best seats in the house, other than 270, because you get to see these kids hot dogging it out there and doing their flips and their turns on learning how to surf on their belly and stand up, and it's just a fun time to watch. We've also got the Seaplex. The Seaplex is this transitional lounge that during the daytime could be used for bumper cars. When was the last time you've been on a bumper car?
When we were on the Anthem of the Seas, they tried to kill me. We definitely have to do that. I need revenge for bumper cars. You hear that, Deborah?
Did you have a favorite color that you ran after on the car?
Well, we did it the first time, and it was all fun and play, and we had so much fun. They all said, well, let's just go back and do it again. The line wasn't that long, and we bent back, and they must have all decided, okay, let's all just attack her. So it's like all of these bumper cars came in at me at one time, and it's like, I'll never live that down. I know Veda Shoop, I think you were in there too, so I'm trying to remember who all my victims were. So I'm going to get you back on the Odyssey here.
So much fun. Well, the neat thing about, and the different thing about this versus the Anthem, which I think you guys were on, right? Were you on Anthem or Quantum? Anthem?
Well, I've been on both, but that group was on Anthem.
Okay, so the one big difference on the Odyssey, other than those two, is that now where the Seaplex area is, you remember it used to be 2 stories, but there was like places for the kids to play the videos and stuff like that, a sitting area. Well, now the whole one side is Playmakers, which is the sports bar with all of the TVs. Yeah.
My draft beer.
Draft beer. The draft beer, and you've got different games that are on the tables, like Jenga or Connect Four, and then you can watch the kids or the adult kids doing the bumper cars down below. So it's a really neat transitional lounge, and that is one of the big changes there, the Cplex, and that's going to have everything from skeet ball to the billiard tables and just a whole lot of fun. We also have on there in the Cplex itself, I believe, is where the Zone Zero is going to be, which is the 4D reality adventure that you go on. So you put this on and you're going through an adventure down there. I believe that's going to be down there in the Cplex. So that's something new that we haven't offered on any of the other ships as well. And of course, we have some new restaurants too. We have Tapenyaki's, which is a authentic Far East type experience, Far East favorites, Japanese traditional style. So that'll be El Loco Fresh, which is going to be on there. Everybody loves that. That's on some of the other ships, the tacos and the nachos and side items. Of course, it's going to have a Giovanni's, one of my favorite, the Giovanni's Italian family style restaurant. I think I love that place the most. It's got of course, tons of things for children to do. But I think, as I mentioned earlier, we've got the Lime and Coconut, which is the outdoor water, I guess, top adventure deck, I guess as you would call it now. But it has the colorful palm trees and the cabanas all outside and the different lime and coconut. It's done very, it's got some bright colors out there, but a lot of fun. It really reminds you of taking, an ocean bar to see. So that's out there as well. We've got the music hall, which is...
I love the music hall.
Music hall, I know I was on there and they had a Bon Jovi tribute band. I've also been on there with the Beatles tribute band. Both are fantastic. Those are really good. Journey tribute band. So it's just like a music theater, like if you were going to a concert. It's that type of a venue, and that's a lot of fun as well. But my favorite, as we had mentioned, is 270. And 270 is this incredible experience. The lounge is called 270, and it's on the aft end of the ship, and it's 270 degrees of windows. And these windows, I want to say it's maybe 2 or 3 decks high. And these windows during the day are open, and it's beautiful views of the aft end of the ship, or the last place that you had just been. And at night, it transitions into this incredible theater. So the windows are digital, and they turn into a screen where we can show all kinds of places from all over the world. They've got an incredible original show that Nick Weir and his cast has put together for the Odyssey that I think will just knock your socks off. And I'll give you a little bit of a hint. It comes with cubicles that are full of water with dancers inside the water. So it's amazing. And the neat thing about 270, I think also, is that it's almost interactive in itself. You could be sitting here, we could be having cocktails, and the table in front of us might have a hole in the ceiling where all of a sudden this aerialist is dropped down, and he or she, with zero body fat, of course, are doing all of these twists and turns, and there's somebody walking through the theater that's part of the cast in full costume, and you just kind of be immersed into the show yourself. So 270 is for sure.
You guys look at this ship. I know it's kind of tiny, but if you look at the flyer I have up there, I don't know if you can see, but right over the 0 and the 2, all of that glassed in back area, that's your 270. And it's still like a living room, dining room type lounger in the day, right? I mean, you can just go down there and hang out. There's hammocks. I remember, this is all from Anthem, but there was hammocks, there's couches, there's a bar, still have the little cafe, the bistro type back there. So we used to go down and get a light breakfast down there. And then, like you said, it just morphs into this amazing, and then it has the robots up there. So we just could go on and on and on about 270s. The only thing I can tell you guys, you need to get on the September 11th through the 19th with me. I don't have a group. It's at prevailing rates. But right now, I don't know if I done it yet. No. Ha, here's the reason why you should do it. Ha, is that we are currently, if you are booking between, correct me if I'm wrong on this, June the 10th through the 20th.
Yep.
So you got 5 more days. If you book during that time frame, this is a Cruise Planner exclusive. You're going to get $100 onboard credit. Now, I'm not getting it because I booked before, but you can. So it's $100 onboard credit, plus you'll get a special dining for 2 at your selected venue. Plus you're going to be getting the 60% off, blah, blah, blah. So that's just so that's one reason. Second thing is, for those of you out there that have future travel credits, they are expiring soon. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's not like the medicine in your cupboard that never goes, never expires. You ever do that? So I've had that. Oh, 1914. Oh, I don't think so. So it's kind of like these things do expire, all right? And you have until April. Tell me if I'm wrong, Michelle. You have until April to get something booked that is going to sail before September, and these are all 2022 dates.
Right.
Now, if you guys didn't check, that is less than a year away. So if you've got FCCs out there, which is future cruise credits, it's where you've had something cancel, you need to use them. You can use them on this Odyssey trip with me, okay? Or I don't know, we might still have some space on the Serenade. I know it's kind of quick, but the Serenade in Alaska, we've got some going up on that. We might could get them on that. So if you, that's real quick. So we'd have to do a quick turnaround.
And they're also earning double points right now. If you book between now and the end of June, you can earn double Crown and Anchor points, which could potentially put you up to that next level on the Crown and Anchor. And also know that, anything that you're booking now, if you have to cancel before, we still have our Cruise with Confidence policy that's out there that would get you that cruise certificate. And the nice thing also, Kathy, is that, these FCCs that you have out there, some people have more than one. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for sticking with Royal. You can now use more than one cruise certificate on a booking. And anybody that you're sailing with in the same cabin, if you have leftover and you want to share it with them, you can do that as well, which works out fantastic and saves money. But I would say this, anything for 2022, get it booked, because there are so many folks. Imagine a whole year without cruising. So many folks that have taken that and shifted to 2022 to book their cruise. So already we have limited space on some sailings. And more importantly, we're hitting those different thresholds where the rates are already going up. So at a certain threshold, we go up to the next rate pricing strategy, the next, higher and higher. So the earlier you get a book, the better the space and the lesser the rate. And I know that Kathy, that's another benefit with cruise planners, is that they're this big conglomerate corporation that she's number one with Royal Caribbean with, and has all of these different sail dates that they can get you into at a locked-in rate. And that's going to become more and more important, I think, going forward.
The one thing, the WJHL that came out here to the office to get the news group, the prices are going up, guys. And they asked me about it. I said, well, you think about it. When you go to the grocery store, isn't your food higher? Go try and buy lumber right now or any type of building supplies. Everything has gone up. And then you've got these suppliers that were shut down and can't deliver. So put yourself in a cruise line position that now they've got to go hire staff, get the new protocols in place, buy all the food, buy all the necessities from all this is going on, which is going to cause that rate to continue to fly to premium. Plus now they're sailing at a reduced rate. So I don't think these prices are going to get less. They're only going to get higher. And if you get in now, and I still believe it's true that you can get something, and if the rate does go down, I don't think it will, but if it does, then at least they can get that adjusted before final payment, right?
Correct.
So it's a no-brainer. You guys should just do it right now. Let's see what else I got. I'm going a little over here. Okay, for those of you, where to next? This is what Hawaii. By the way, South Africa. I am thinking there. So you might want to get on that one. Viking Expedition Cruise. This is the one by Cruise Planners Incorporated. So I am going to stop this. And let's go back, see if I can find me. I can't find me.
You're there, I see you.
There we are. So let's go see if we've got anything over here. All right, we got Mr. Frank. Frank Johnson is on. Now, Mr. Johnson, he's going to be sailing your Grandeur. In
Barbados.
Yeah, he's going down there and doing he's going to be one of the first ones doing all the island hops, which will be cool.
I'll tell you what, that is one of my most favorite itineraries, and it's going to be really, it's so unique. And to leave in and out of Barbados, the folks at Barbados, hopefully he's going down there a day early and be able to take it in a little bit, because Barbados itself is a fantastic place to visit.
And let's see, we got Miss Pat Jones is watching, and then Louise says, what's the vaccination policy for our Alaska cruise? You must be vaccinated. So Seattle is a absolute must. There will be no passengers on that do not have the vaccination. If you don't have it and that's an issue, you need to call me ASAP.
As now. That's why I said as it stands right now, that's the way it is. And that's the reason why they have you, is because you're going to be on top of that.
Right, exactly. So I think we went through that, but if nobody does, and again, we're having a meeting on the 23rd. But maybe I'll shoot that out to everybody to make sure that everybody has a vaccination to do this. Well, yeah, I think I mentioned it on the Louise, did I mention that on the call to everybody? Should I resend that out about vaccination? She'll type me back. Miss Deanne is there. Hello, Deanne. I wonder how Sandy's eyes doing. If you talk to her, tell her I pray for every morning. And Queenie's on. Miss Queenie is there. I sent your changes on fall, or no changes on fall foliage out. Louise says we don't need Canada now. That was a comment. We just don't need them now. I can see it right now. Go away. We don't need you. I love it. Oh, I love her. I can't wait to be able to travel with those guys. All right. Okay, so I think that's it. Michelle, you got anything to add? I mean, we're excited about Odyssey. We're excited about Ships in the Water.
You know what? I would love to come back, Kathy, and tell you about my adventure on the Odyssey sometime soon again. But as I mentioned at the very beginning, I'm so excited to have these ships begin cruising again. And I know everybody across the world is waiting for that time to get on their next cruise vacation. And I hope to see you on the high seas soon.
Let's see, you're getting on her when?
I'll be getting on her on
Monday, which is the 21st.
21st, yeah.
Okay, but you're still on her on the 22nd.
Yeah, and then I'll be, and I can't film live just yet, but I'll probably be taking, pictures and stuff like that I hopefully can share of the show.
Well, our next travel talk will be the 29th. We skip a week, so we're going to skip a week. So could you come back on the 29th and tell us how the sailing was? What do you think, guys? You want to have Michelle back telling us all about the Odyssey? Is that a yay? Give me some thumbs up.
They're like, wait, we don't want her back again. We just want to be on the ship.
I want to know. It's really different once you get on the ship. That's the reason why I sail so much, or that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
I'm so excited. And I just want to thank everybody for hanging in there with us, for, staying loyal to Royal, and for keeping us in your prayers. And I hope you all are staying safe and sane, like Kathy has been saying all these 15 months, because it's not been an easy time for sure. So thanks for having me, Kathy. I miss you guys. I miss you all very much. I can't wait to see you all in person very soon. So take care.
And last thing. Okay, so we've got Michelle coming back on the 29th. I'm penciling that in, right? On Travel Talk Tuesday. Yeah. Guys, you're going to hear it. The Travel Club is on. I thought I put that slide on there. Travel Club. I need you spreading the word. Now, I'll be on Daytime Tri-Cities tomorrow, so be sure and watch. But get the word out there. I know it's a weird date, but it's July the 8th. we are doing Travel Club, and it is going to be a reunion of travelers old and new. It's a holiday week, but God, I pray we get a big, big crowd. So you guys do me a favor. All you guys are my favorite clients out there. Spread the word. Tell Travel Club, July the 8th, 1 to 4. With that, see ya.
I see ya.